Mark's Reviews and Tutorials video, and today we're going to be looking at a spa controller. A bit of an old one, this is an endless spa, but it uses a Davey or Spa Power 1000 control panel. You're going to have a bit of a look around at this under here, just to give a bit of a, hey, what is everything under here and what's going on? See, it says here, disconnect supply before removing cover, qualified personnel only. If you're in America, there's 110 volts behind that. Here in Australia, there's 240 volts behind that. So if you don't know what you're doing, you do not open that under any circumstances. There's not a lot you can play with or do under there. This particular controller, the 1000, the plugs are on the side for the motor here. This is this old style of motor. That's a 3-pin. Now, to the biggest extent, if you've got a system with these pins in it still, you need to understand that there's very, very few parts still available, and most of the time you're actually going to be replacing the entire parts rather than the bits. You see there's an old motor in there. It's actually an old goer. There's no rust on it. It's looking good. That's what that lead is that I unplugged. It's a 2-speed motor. I'm going to just chump as much information into this video as I can. You see there's 4 pins on that. Whenever you get a plug with 3 pins, it's just a single speed motor, but a plug with 4 pins, this goes for this style and also the AMP style of motor as well. So that's your motor. Over here is an air blower, so have a look at that. That guy there pumps the air into the spa. This little box here is actually a saltwater chlorinator. They are very, very rare, but that's what that is. So if you want to know if you've got one like that on your system, then that's what that is. And this one here is really simple. That's all it is. This is the isolator to kill the big total power into your system, on and off. And that's just an Australian or New Zealand power plug. Now, Spa Power 1000. You've listened to me for a couple of minutes here, trying to give as much information as I can. The only replaceable part on a Spa Power 1000, you cannot get heat sensors anymore. All of the things that can break, you basically can't get the spare parts anymore. You can't even get control pads, can't get anything for the Spa Power 1000 more, except for the heater. Between here and here is the heater, but the replacement heater is about half the price of the entire control panel system. So before you go and spend money on a replacement heater, you want to make sure that everything else is spicky span, tip top, and looking really, really good before you go and do that. I run a company, it's Nillumbik Pool and Spa Service. Have a look on the internet, you'll find me. I'll put a link in the description. I sell replacement systems for these. You do actually need to change the plugs of all of your existing equipment, pumps and blowers, but I actually switch it over to a Balboa system. I've got a retrofit, and the retrofit system comes with leads, so you can put new leads on your pumps and your blowers and all those sorts of things. A new 3 kilowatt heater, brand new control panel, brand new control panel up here, and a whole control box. It's the whole lot. So contact me, put a note in the comments, or contact me through the link if you want to get hold of one of those. I'll sell them at a good price. But if you've got a 1000, which is what this is here, it really is a good idea to switch the whole thing out. The simple thing is, if you go and put in the money for a brand new heater and then anything else goes wrong, or if the new heater doesn't fix the problem, you're up the creek. So it really is a better situation. It's quite a deal. I would recommend getting a spa professional to put it in. If you're in Melbourne, talk to me. I can supply them for all of Australia and all of New Zealand. Anywhere that's 240 volt, but anywhere that's 110 volt, I don't have those ones, but I will put a link in the description for where you'll be able to get a 110 volt one as well. This here is a very special elbow. It's 2-inch, but it comes in with a female on this end, you see, and it's actually got a male joint on this end. So when you come to replace this, because the plumbing is so super duper tight, and there's a 45-degree one there on that side, it's not just standard plumbing fittings and easy to put these in. It's really quite complicated what's involved in switching out the new system, both in the plumbing and also that the plugs, these old plugs, have to be switched out too. So you've got to cut the lead and put a new plug, and that's something that can only be done by a licensed electrician, because you're talking 240 volt, or actually replace the lead. And again, that's supposed to be done by an electrician when you're talking full household voltages. So there you go. I'll rip the cover off this, give you a look inside, and describe some things that can be repaired and where we can go from here. Just with a screwdriver, turning it quarter way like that, and then these actually will come out. So you just turn all of them quarter of a turn anti-clockwise. And of course, if you're going to do this, off at the isolator. But if you're clueless with electricity and not particularly handy, don't open it at all, because you could do some very serious damage to yourself and to the spa equipment. For those who want to have a look at what's actually inside here, here you go. A big major component of this, of course, is the transformer. It gets your 240 volt in the case of this one. See, it's coming in here. The 240 volt transforms it down to a lower voltage. And the lower voltage is what goes up to your control panel and controls all of the electronics in here. This black tube here along the bottom is your heater. You can see all the fittings for a, this is Davey or Spa Quip heater. Again, I sell these units as well. You can see here, 4.5 kilowatt, 240 volt is this guy here. This whole system is going out because there's actually an earth leak on the heater. I'll put a link up. I'll do another video about this. I'll put a link up here about how to actually check your heater element. One of the things that makes them give out is they start to leak power to earth, which is very dangerous in a spa situation because it can get current into your spa and be very dangerous for you. So as you can see in here, there really isn't a lot of serviceable parts. There is one fuse. There are a couple where the fuses will occasionally blow, but it's rare. Problems with spas are more often, temperature sensors, replacing heaters, and often it's replacing pumps and motors or blowers and things like that. But there you go. There's a look inside, and as you can see, not a lot at all in there, which is serviceable. But that's how she all works.